Hello my people, welcome to another tutorial. My name is Agnes. In today's tutorial I will show you how to crochet this oversized shirt. You can make it in a smaller size if you like, just go a size smaller than I indicated. And yeah, I love it, and I'm going to be writing a pattern, so it will be available on my Etsy and Yancy shops. I will leave the links in my description box and a pinned comment. If you like a written pattern, you can check that out. And we are going to be recreating this, so you can do this in any size. I'm giving you the measurements for what you need, and it's quite easy, so we are just going to get right into it. So for the materials, we need yarn, and I'm going to be using this yarn. It's Durable Comfy from Durable Yarns. I will leave the link in my description box. It's 100 grams, 266 meters each, and I used 4 skeins of these, so 400 grams for my size. It's 100% microfiber acrylic. It's sport yarn or size 2 yarn, so you can use any other yarn that you like. Yeah, it's in color Orchid, and it recommends a 3 to 4 millimeter hook. I'm going to be using a 3 millimeter hook size. You will need a darning needle, some stitch markers, a tape measure. You need this, and scissors. So for this shirt, we are going to work from 2 panels which are identical, and we are working from here all the way along the shoulder and to the bottom. So just know how long you want your shirt to be. Mine is about 23 inches, and then the foundation chain is going to be twice that number, so 23, which means the foundation chain will be about 46 inches for me, because we are working both the front and the back together. Okay, so our foundation chain should be twice the height of your shirt. So we'll work one part first, and then work the next part and join them in the middle, and then we do the collar, put this double crochet row at the end, and just add a few rows of the sleeve. This is my first part, and it is 46 inches long, so I chained 46 inches, which is twice my shirt height. So you should do the same. If you want it longer, you can make it longer or shorter, depends on what you prefer. Just measure what you prefer and then chain twice the height of the size that you want. So to start, you're going to make a foundation chain, which is twice your shirt height. So make a loop, and then you're going to chain multiples of 3, which means 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. And I'm going to do a sample for you. Make a long chain that is equivalent to twice the height of your shirt. Okay, it is multiples of 3, 3 plus 3 plus 3, and in the end we add 1 chain. So I have 30, that's a multiple of 3, and then you add 1 chain. So it's multiples of 3 plus 1 chain. Okay, and then you're going to yarn over, and we are going to start on our first row, which is a row of double crochets. So you're going to skip 1, 2, 3, and into the 4th stitch you're going to make a double crochet, and then you're going to go into the next stitch, make a double crochet, into the next chain, make a double crochet, and you're going to make 1 double crochet in every chain until you get to the end of your chain. Okay, so I'm getting to the end of my row 1. So this is my row 1. It's a sample, so it's short, but mine was quite long. It was 46 inches. Okay, so now for row 2 we are going to chain 3. This chain 3 does not count as a stitch, so you turn your work, you yarn over, and in this very first stitch we are going to make a double crochet. All right, and then next we are going to chain 2, yarn over, and we are going to skip 2 into the 3rd stitch. We are going to make a double crochet like that. So next we are chaining 2, and then we skip 2, 1, 2 into the 3rd one. You make a double crochet, chain 2, skip 2, double crochet into the 3rd one, and this is going to be our repeat. Okay, it's chain 2, you start with a double crochet, chain 2, skip 2, chain 2, skip 2, like that until I'm coming to the end, and at the end I have 3 double crochets left, so I'll skip the first 2 and into the last one make my last double crochet. Okay, so this chain 2, chain 3 does not count as a stitch, so you're going to chain 3 again. For the 3rd row we are going to repeat this row, so it will be a row of double crochets. So chain 2 does not count as chain 3, sorry, does not count as a stitch, so I'll go into this very first stitch here and make a double crochet, and then into the chain space I'm going to make 2 double crochets in there, and then on top of this double crochet I'll make a double crochet, and then in the chain space 2 double crochets, double crochet on top of that. Okay, so we are just going to continue doing this until the end. Okay, so it's 2 double crochets in the chain space and 1 double crochet on top of the previous double crochet. Getting to the end, and on top of this last double crochet I'll make my double crochet. So this is just going to be the pattern. We're going to be repeating row 2 and row 3 until we get to the width that we want. So it's chain 3, turn your work, double crochet in that very first stitch. Chain 3 doesn't count as a stitch, and then you chain 2, skip 2, double crochet into the 3rd one, chain 2, skip 2, double crochet to the 3rd one, chain 2, skip 2, double crochet into the next one, and it's always going to be this is in one line going up. So if you find they are not, then you've probably skipped 1 or 3 stitches, so you should check that. So we're just going to continue doing this until we get to the width that we like. I'm going to put the measurements for the sizes in the next slide, and if you feel like that, because it's like an oversized shirt, if you feel like you don't like oversized, then go a size smaller or 2 sizes smaller. All right, so I worked my rows until I had about 10 inches. So from here where I started, worked rows until I had 10 inches. So now we want to make part for the neckline, and I want to leave 2 inches on each part. So 2 inches on this part, and once we make another identical part, we'll leave 2 inches. So our neckline will be about 4 inches. Okay, so you are going to determine the middle of our work. You're going to count these little windows. I call them windows, I don't know what you call them. So these little spaces, all of them, and then divide into 2, because we need to find the middle part of this. So mine, I have 81 of those, and I am going to make 40 on one side, count 40 on the other side to find the middle. So there's one window remaining, which is for me is this. So I put in the middle stitch, I'll put my stitch marker, or you can count all your stitches and divide by 2, and in the middle of that then put a stitch marker, or just fold your work into half and then try to find the middle. So for me, I have 40 windows on this side, 40 windows on this side, and I have one remaining, so I put a stitch marker in the middle of that. So just find the middle part of your work and put a stitch marker, and then we are just going to work from one side to where our stitch marker is, so that we are working only the back part of our kimono. Okay, so I'll work all the way from here until I'm here where I have my stitch marker. So I will just continue like I was doing before, chain my 3, and my next row is the mesh row. So chain 3 doesn't count as a stitch, so I'll go into that very first stitch and make a double crochet, then chain 2, skip 2 into the third one, make a double crochet, chain 2, skip 2, double crochet, chain 2, skip 2, double crochet. All right, so I'm going to do this until I get to where I have my stitch marker. I came all the way up here, and since I had an odd number of these windows, it was 81, so my last stitch will be in the middle of this other 41st window. So I'll just go ahead and put a double crochet there. Okay, so that is the end of my first row of this neckline part. So you're going to chain 3. But if you had an even number and then you have, for example, if I had 40-40, then I would just end where it ends. Okay, so chain 3, turn my work, and now this is going to be my first stitch here. So it's going to be a double crochet and then a second double crochet in the next stitch. Okay, and then in this chain space, of course, I'm going to put 2 double crochets and continue to work like before. Okay, only that for me now at the end, when I'm doing this mesh part, it will be 2 double crochets at the end. Okay, all right, so I'm just going to do this. I'll do only 4 rows because I need 2 inches of that, and these 2 rows are 1 inch, so I will need another 2 rows to make it 2 inches, and then I will be done with the first part. I'm done with this part here. I did only 4 rows, so 2 rows of mesh and 2 rows of double crochet, and I went ahead and did this part, same number of rows as there, same number of stitches I began with as that. So everything is identical. Now I need to add this part, but my row ends here, so just cut off the yarn because them to be on the right side, both sides, right? So if you start from here, then this part will be on this other side and it will not make sense. So you cut off your yarn, and I will now start from here where I have my stitch marker, making the mesh row going this way, and then come back up like this until I have the 4 rows. So I'll start from here going this way, while for this part we started from up here, down here, going up. Okay, so I'm done with this part too, and now they're lying facing each other like this. And so we are going to sew this part together. I'm going to use a needle. If you don't have a needle, you can use a slip stitch, doing it on the wrong side, the other side, but I'm going to use a needle, so I will do it on this right side. So from the bottom all the way up. I left a long tail, so I have my yarn needle there, and I'm now going to join on this side on top of this chain 3 here, like that. And then I'm going to be going only in these loops that are the inside. Okay, so I will go to this loop on this other side, this inside loop, and put through my hook and do that, then go to this other side, this first stitch, the first loop from the inside to the out. So insert my needle from the inside and pull on this side like that, on the other side, on this side, from inside out. So I will do this until I get to the top. All right, so you can use any other sewing method that you like, and I'll see you once you join these two panels together. So I'm done, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to join now the sides, and I will join them on the wrong side using a slip stitch. So just fold this like this, and then we are going to join here. Okay, for the sides, we are going to sew the sides and leave out the armhole. And for the armhole, for my size, I'm leaving 7 inches. So from the top of the shoulder, I make about 7 inches. That's what I'm leaving out. And then the rest I'm going to sew. So I have 28 windows here and also 28 windows there, and then I put my stitch marker. So I'm going to sew from down here until I get to where I have my stitch marker. So the circumference of our armhole is 14 inches. It's 7 from top to here, and then on the other side. If you're making a bigger size, I'll give you the measurements for the armhole for that. So to start, we are going to just reattach our yarn here at the bottom, or you can start from the top, whatever you like, from where your stitch marker is. And reattach our yarn, and we're going to use slip stitches. So I'm going to slip stitch in every stitch all the way to the top. So it's slip stitching both panels together. All right, so this is on the wrong side where I'm working, so slip stitch all the way to where we have our stitch marker, and once we are done with that, we'll also do the other side of the shirt like that, and then we'll be done, and then we'll come for the next step. This is what we have now, but I'm going to go ahead and do a row here at the bottom to straighten it up, and then we do the collar, and then we add on the sleeves. For the bottom, we are going to do a row of double crochets. We'll start from one end, reattach our yarn, chain 3. Chain 3 counts as a stitch, so we are going to skip that stitch here, and we're going to work 1 double crochet, and then we're going to go into this row and work 2 double crochets, 1, 2, and then we're going to go into this double crochet row and work 2 double crochets, and then in the next row 2 double crochets, the next row 2 double crochets, so you're going to work like that all along the bottom, and then I'll see you once you're the other side. That's how it looks like after I'm done with this row, I just chained one and cut off the yarn, and now we're going to do the collar. All right, from up here we need to leave about 4.5 inches, and for me that's about here. So I counted the stitches and I have 22 stitches. So in my 22nd stitch I put a stitch marker, and so also here I already counted. I have 22 stitches here, which is about 4.5 inches. Okay, so we're going to work along like this all the way to this side, and we're just going to use the double crochet stitch for this. So we will reattach our yarn. So I'll attach on this 21st stitch, which is right before the stitch marker, and then I'm going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. 3. Chain 3 does not count as a stitch, so I'll make a double crochet in that very same stitch, and I'm just going to make a double crochet in every stitch. Until I get up here, and then I'll come show you what we do. So I went all the way from here until the top, and now I need to do the top here. So for the top, what we are going to do is we are going to be making double crochets. So 2 in this stitch here on this mesh row, and then 1 at the top of the stitch. Okay, so 2 in this next row here, this row with the double crochets, and then 1 at the top of the stitch. 2 in this mesh part, and then 1 at the top of the stitch. 2, and then 1, which is this joining area. All right, then 2. I will also put this at the top of the stitch because we are joining these two. Okay, so now we do 2, and then 1 at the top of the stitch. And when you get to the other side, now we just go down again with 1 double crochet in every stitch until we get to where our stitch marker is. So all right, so do that and I'll meet you here. I go to the end where I have my other stitch marker, so it looks something like this. So we are going to be working from one end to the other. So for the next row, you're going to chain 3. You're going to turn your work, and we're going to make an increase in this row. So that's 1 double crochet, and in the same stitch you're going to make another double crochet like that, and then only in the first stitch, and then now you're going to do 1 double crochet in every stitch, all the way to the other side of the other stitch marker, and I will see you there. All right, so I worked all my way to this other side, and we are going to make an increase there. So at the end, the last stitch, you're going to put 2 double crochets in one stitch, and then you're going to chain 3, turn your work, and we're just going to be repeating this second row. So you will make an increase at the beginning, and then 1 double crochet in every stitch. All right, so repeat this, and I will come and let you know how many inches I have of that. I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rows, but I want to do 8 because this is about 3 inches, and I want to do about 3.5 inches. But I want to clean out these edges with a single crochet, so I cut off my yarn so that I can restart here and do some single crochets before doing my last row, and then do single crochets on this side. But if you don't mind how it looks here, then you can just do the 8 rows or 3.5 inches and then leave it at that. Okay, so I am going to restart here, reattach my yarn, and then I'm going to just work single crochet. So in this way I reattached my yarn, I'll put a single crochet, and then I'm going to go into this first stitch here, insert 2 single crochets, and then go at the top of the stitch, 1 single crochet, in this stitch here 2 single crochets, at the top of the stitch 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets, 1 single crochet, two single crochets. And now that I'm back here at the top, I'm going to chain I didn't work in this top one, so 1 single crochet at the top, and then I will chain 1, 2, 3, and then just in this first stitch there make a double crochet and continue to make double crochets in every stitch, so it looks like this. All right, so I'll work double crochets all this side, and once I'm done, then I will start with two single crochets, 1 single crochet at the top of the stitch, 2 single crochets, 1 single crochet at the top of the stitch until I'm done here, and then cut off the yarn. We're done with the collar. That's how it looks like. And I want to make the sleeves. I already did one. It's just 4 rows, so 2 rows of mesh and 2 rows of double crochet. So I'm going to show you how I did that right now. To reattach our yarn here at the bottom, but since this is the mesh row, we're always working on the wrong side of the double crochet row, so that's where we'll start this way. And I'll start here in this corner of the sleeve, the arm, underarm. Reattach my yarn there where we joined, reattach my yarn, chain 3. Chain 3 is going to not count as a stitch for this part, so you will make a double crochet there. Okay, and then we're going to chain 2, and then we're going to skip 2, 1, 2, and then on the third one you're going to make a double crochet just like we did the mesh part. So chain 2, skip 2, third one, double crochet. So try to put them on top of each other, the mesh, so that it is, yeah, uniform. So chain 2, skip 2, double crochet, chain 2, skip 2, double crochet, and you're going to do this all around so that I meet you back right here, and then I'll show you how to join because we're going to be working in rounds. So I went all around with the mesh, and I'm back here under the arm. I already made my last double crochet, so now we need to join to here. So what you'll do is you will chain 2, and then you go on top of this, chain 3, and I am going to make a slip. Okay, and then now for the next row is going to be the double crochet row, and we need to now turn our work. So you'll chain 3, turn your work. We're going to be working in rounds and turning our work at the beginning of every round. So I'll go into that very same stitch and I'm going to make a double crochet, and then in this chain 2 space I'll make 2 double crochets just like before, and then double crochet, 2 double crochets in the chain space, and double crochet, 2 double crochets, and then you're just going to continue this same pattern until you get back here. So when you get here you have 2 double crochets, and then you slip stitch on top of this chain 3, and then you start again just like how we did this mesh. So you chain 3, turn your work, double crochet, skip 2, double crochet like that, and you're going to do 2 rows of mesh, 2 rows of double crochet, and then you will be done. It will be looking like this other one here. Okay, and I'll meet you once you're done. I think that will be the end of it actually. Then we sew in our ends and then we are done. After sewing in all your ends, it should look something like this, and I tried it on. I loved it. I love this color. I'm going to leave the link of the pattern in the description box. I'll be updating on Etsy and on my Yancy account. So thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to share, like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. I appreciate each and every one of you. Bye. See you in the next one.